Here is the full true story of Queen Nzinga Mbande, the revered monarch and freedom fighter of Ndongo and Matamba. Queen Nzinga Mbande, the diplomat, warrior, and unyielding protector of her kingdoms. Lifespan, c. 1583, December 17, 1663. Realms, Ndongo and Matamba, in modern-day Angola. Legacy, a symbol of resistance against colonialism, a master strategist, and a queen who defied European powers for 4 decades to protect her people's sovereignty and freedom. Nzinga Mbande was born around 1583 into the royal family of the Ndongo kingdom, a Mbundu-speaking people. Her father, Ngola Kiluwanji Kia Samba, was the Ngola king, who had begun resisting Portuguese encroachment years earlier. From him, Nzinga learned the art of rule and resistance. Her brother, Ngola Mbande, succeeded their father. He was a paranoid and weak ruler, who, fearing rivalry, had Nzinga's son murdered and sterilized her, ensuring she could bear no heir to challenge him. Despite this brutality, when the kingdom faced a dire threat from the Portuguese, Mbande was forced to turn to his brilliant sister for help. The famous meeting with the Portuguese governor, 1622. In 1622, Nzinga was sent as her brother's ambassador to negotiate a treaty with the Portuguese governor, João Correia de Sousa, in the coastal city of Luanda. The meeting is legendary for a single powerful act of symbolism. Upon entering the room, Nzinga saw that the governor was seated in a chair while only a floor cushion was provided for her. This was a deliberate ploy to place her in a position of inferiority. Understanding the power dynamics instantly, Nzinga motioned to one of her attendants, who immediately dropped to their hands and knees. Nzinga sat upon the attendant's back, placing herself at eye level with the governor. She had turned a moment of intended humiliation into one of commanding equality. She negotiated not as a subordinate but as a peer. The resulting treaty was favorable. The Portuguese agreed to withdraw a fort built on Ndongo land and to respect Ndongo's borders. In return, Nzinga, seeing the complex reality of the region, agreed to open trade routes and even to return Portuguese prisoners of war and, tragically, a common practice of the era, return enslaved Africans who had fled Portuguese captivity. This clause remains a stain on the treaty, reflecting the impossible choices leaders faced in a system already deeply corrupted by the slave trade. Most significantly, for the first time, Portugal recognized Ndongo as a sovereign nation, and its ruler as an equal, not a vassal. Shortly after this diplomatic triumph, Nzinga's brother Ngola Mbande died under mysterious circumstances. Many suspected poison, possibly by Nzinga herself or his own disillusioned court. In 1624, deifying Mbundu patrilineal tradition, Nzinga declared herself Queen of Ndongo. The Portuguese, furious with a woman on the throne and eager to install a puppet king, immediately broke the treaty and launched a military campaign against her. They allied with rival tribes in the Mbangala, fearsome nomadic warriors, forcing Nzinga to flee eastward from her capital. Master of strategy and identity. This exile marked Nzinga's transformation from diplomat into a relentless military and political strategist. To secure a power base, she conquered the kingdom of Matamba, a powerful state that had remained free of Portuguese influence. She now ruled as Queen of Ndongo and Matamba. To strengthen her army, she made the audacious decision to ally with the very Mbangala warriors who had been her enemies. She adopted their customs, their military tactics, and even married their leader, Kasa. This marriage was purely political. She remained the supreme ruler. She also offered sanctuary to anyone who would fight with her, including runaway enslaved people, Quilombos, and African soldiers who had deserted the Portuguese armies. Matamba became a formidable state of resistance. Understanding the power of symbolism, Nzinga also cleverly leveraged religion. She and her sisters were baptized as Christians during the early negotiations. Nzinga took the Christian name Ana de Sousa after the governor's name. She used this connection to communicate directly with the Pope and the King of Portugal, portraying herself as a Christian monarch unjustly attacked, all while maintaining her traditional spiritual practices to cement her authority with her people. The decades-long war and final peace. For over 30 years, from the 1630s to the 1650s, Queen Nzinga waged a brilliant guerrilla war against the Portuguese. She was often on the front lines with her army, well into her 60s. Her strategies included forging alliances with European rivals, She partnered with the Dutch West India Company when they seized Luanda from the Portuguese in 1641. This provided her with modern weapons and a powerful counterweight to Portugal. Economic warfare. She controlled the trade routes into the interior, disrupting the Portuguese slave trade and weakening their economy. Uniting the Mbundu. She tirelessly worked to unite various Mbundu clans under her banner, creating a broader national identity against a common enemy. The tide shifted when the Portuguese recaptured Luanda from the Dutch in 1648. Deprived of her European ally, Nzinga continued to fight, but the prolonged conflict was exhausting both sides. In 1657, at the age of 74, the indomitable queen finally sat down to negotiate a new peace treaty. The terms were a testament to her lifelong struggle. Portugal finally recognized her as the legitimate ruler of Ndongo, Matamba. Her territories were officially restored, and she agreed to return Portuguese prisoners. Most importantly, Matamba was recognized as a free and independent kingdom that would serve as a gateway for Portuguese trade into the interior, but on its own terms. Queen Nzinga spent her final years rebuilding her war-torn kingdom, resettling refugees, and re-establishing Matamba as a central commercial power. She passed away a peaceful death on December 17, 1663, at the age of 81. Her legacy is profound and multifaceted. 1. Symbol of resistance. She is Angola's preeminent national heroine, a symbol of intelligence, courage, and the relentless fight for freedom against impossible odds. 2. Master of realpolitik. Nzinga was a pragmatic leader who used diplomacy, religion, warfare, and strategic marriage as tools to preserve her people's sovereignty. Her story is not one of simple heroism, but of complex, calculated choices in the face of existential threat. A complicated figure. To secure her army, she sometimes adopted the brutal tactics of her Mbangala allies. To secure a treaty, she once agreed to return people to slavery. These actions are part of her history, illustrating the grim realities and moral compromises inherent in colonial resistance. Enduring influence. After her death, Matamba remained a major commercial state and a powerful force in the region for decades. Her story inspired generations of Angolans during their fight for independence from Portugal in the 20th century. Today, statues of Queen Nzinga stand proudly in Luanda and Malanje. Her story is taught in schools, and she is remembered not just as a queen who fought, but as a foundational figure who defined the spirit of resistance and self-determination in Central Africa.